Oh, I was trying to gather whatever that
Hey,
was.
Shilonen, how's everything going?
Oh, hi, Traveler and Paimon. I have bad news. Lolly did not reply to our request. Although, I suppose I'm not too surprised.
Fantastic.
Huh? You mean she didn't even bother to give Kenichi a response? Guess she really does have quite the ego then.
Well, she's just busy with the Auroran matter.
Yeah, well, she can be also quite eccentric, though she's one of the most gifted people around. Even the Masters of the Nightwind often struggle to work with her. My guess is that she probably has other reasons for not deigning us with a response.
The voice actress transposed these two words, and it was awkward.
But let's
I
go
do it
to
all
the
the time,
stadium
but I'm not a
and see
voice
if we can
actress.
meet her there. If we do get a chance to talk to her in person, we can still try to work something out.
Why would she be at the stadium?
That's true. Let's go!
You said yourself that she doesn't leave her room or her home. Yet you think we're just gonna suddenly like bump into her at the stadium? I think you're crazy. Nope. This one. You arrive at the stadium in Sacred Flame. As expected, Lolly is not there.
Paimon doesn't see anybody. Seems she's just not gonna show up, huh?
I like how neither of us are listening. We're having our own conversation over in the corner.
Well, we tried to be as considerate as we could, but she's under no obligation to help.
That might be true, but this is still a request from the Pyro Archon, right? Shouldn't the subject always answer the call of their Archon?
I think so, yes.
A subject? Well, if you ask me, I'd say we're all more like friends with the Archon.
And that's cute, but doesn't make the point not stand.
Yes, Mawika is our leader, but that doesn't mean there's any kind of tall barrier between us and her.
There should be. She's in a position of authority over you.
The only thing is that she often has very high expectations of us.
I can tell.
Huh. So even though she's super powerful, it sounds like she's actually pretty down to earth and easy to get along with.
What do you mean it sounds like? You've interacted with the woman. How did you not already come to that conclusion?
Unlike that old hag Granny Eatstily, right? Does she think she
I
can
was about to
ignore
say,
us just because she's famous?
100% gonna come up behind you since you've decided to insult her. I was gonna say it, but I was too late because I was waiting for Paimon to finish and Lolly was walking up.
You all talk about her like she's some kind of huge deal, but she didn't even bother to reply to our letter. Seriously, if she didn't want to come, she could at least let us know.
True.
If that's what aging does to you, Paimon never wants to get old.
Oh, really? So, that's how you see me?
I just don't get it. How is she meant to be old when she's young?
Huh? Who's there? Who's talking next to Paimon?
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just a disgruntled old hag, right? Come on, relax. I'm sure my bark's worse than my bite.
Huh? Lolly.
Huh?
Wait, you're Seat Lolly? You're Granny Eatstily?
Yes, Granny Eatsley. But emphasis on Eatsley, not Granny.
I'm very confused. Is this a translation error? Or a problem of culture? I don't understand.
You must know this trope from light novels, surely. They use it all the time. The young man who's actually the oldest person in the room. The girl next door who turns out to be a seasoned veteran. The wise sage who looks like a little kid.
Well, yeah, but that's just like irony. It's not quite the same as calling a young person granny. It's weird. And the plosives in this Archon quest are really bad.
Oh, wipe that look off your face. You've
Listen to
seriously
it.
never seen an older lady that doesn't look her age? Okay, well, don't go thinking it's a trick either. See? I'm barely wearing any makeup.
I'm so confused.
Did I forget to mention, she's called Granny, but she's actually pretty young.
But why? That's just weird. Who in their right mind would want to be called an old woman when they're young? I don't understand. And you were complaining about the Pyro Archon leaving things out.
It was an honest mistake. I guess we've just gotten used to it.
I'm sorry. So, how old are you actually?
What? How dare you? Don't you know it's rude to ask a lady her age?
I've never understood that. What's so wrong about asking somebody their age? I mean, are people actually insecure about their ages? I see nothing wrong with it.
Paimon really didn't mean to offend you. It's just that your case seems really unique. Oh, Paimon just wanted to apologize, but now she's putting more and more of her foot in her mouth. Really, Paimon just got a little mad since we thought, well, you were gonna leave us out to dry.
Well, now you can stand there and wait, Sitlali, as I Google what your age actually is. Huh? What? What? Let's go to the official Genshin wiki because that can't be right. It's saying that she's super old, but this is a country full of humans. What the actual hell? So she has dialogue with Chanka, whoever the hell that is. Well, given our ages, it'd probably be more accurate for me to call her my great-great-granny. So she's like about 200 years old. What? Okay, that makes sense that they're calling her granny, because age-wise she is bloody old. But not even the Archon is immortal in this game, in Natlan. They're human, with a human lifespan. So how and why do you have a prolonged lifespan? Why is everybody okay with it, when even the Archon doesn't have that blessing? And why do you still look like a recently past puberty female? Look, she looks 18. How? Magic? I have so many questions, Sitlali.
It was my idea to invite you here, Sitlali. So if you're upset, you can just take it out on me.
All right. I was only joking. I didn't mean to chastise anyone. There's really no need to take all this so seriously. If anything, I'm gonna feel awkward if we keep this going.
Oh god, can someone get a words that don't have S's in them?
I received Kenichi's letter and was planning to attend this meeting. Since I had already decided to come, I figured there was no need to draft a reply that simply said, understood. Besides, just showing up is the most important part. No?
I mean, yes, but even if you just said understood, it would have been politer. Does she not own a pop filter? I just don't understand why her plosives are so hideous. It's gonna really aggravate me. I'm sensitive to sound, and I don't like hearing plosives.
But, of course, it's also natural for people to get held up by one thing or another as they're trying to leave the house. It certainly was a bit awkward to see that everyone else had arrived before me. At first, I was thinking of quietly sneaking over, but since you were already here waiting for me, I started to think about how I should phrase my apology. Only to hear you all talking smack about me.
You didn't finish. Oh my days.
Anyway, that's the whole story. Honestly, it's not like I owed you an explanation anyway.
Well, this is awkward.
What's with that expression? Was she feeling embarrassed just now?
Obviously. Is she waiting for us to carry on the conversation? Everything she's saying sounds like a joke, but I'm not sure if I should laugh. Would it be rude to laugh, or even more rude not to laugh? We could just change the topic.
When the Masters of the Night Wind say they struggle dealing with her, I wonder if the feeling is mutual. She seems to be pretty awkward herself. Everything she does and says seems a little forced.
It feels like she imagines she needs to have a certain facade, a certain way that people perceive her, but that's different to who she really is. And she has a conflict between those two things. And that's what it seems like to me. But having not really met her for longer than 2 seconds, I can't say if that's really her personality. But that's what it seems like.
Anyway, Shilonen, I heard that you require my help in crafting an ancient name.
Yes, indeed. Obviously, I'll do a fashion show later on for good old Sitlali. Or maybe I won't because I don't do Natland character trials because they suck. But I don't like this. I do like this. I like her hair. Her hair is gorgeous. Don't like those. But I don't like the pink pupils. I would have been happier if she'd had black pupils. It would look nicer on her, I think. But the color of her hair is beautiful. I like it.
Correct. The situation isn't like anything we've handled before. Let me explain.
Shiloden explains the Pirate Archon's request as well as the difficulties
I
she's
see.
encountered.
So Mawika has asked you to forge an ancient name
Good
for an
God, she's getting
Outlander.
rid of the V entirely.
Well, that would be a first.
It says that would be an unprecedented feat. Read the lines you're given, woman. Or, Mihoyo, write the correct lines that are said. I don't know who is to blame, technically. So I'll just blame both of you.
And you've also heard all about Auroron. I must say, he's always been a good kid. I can't see him joining the Fatui of his own volition. He must have been coerced somehow.
We'll know once we find him.
Yeah, that's what we came here to ask you. We'll help bring Auroron back if you help us solve the problems of forging the ancient name. What do you think?
I suppose I'll just call you Traveler for now. Traveler, come here. Let me take a good look at you.
Yay. Hi. I'm special. I know I can continue, but I was curious to see what the graphics would do.
Wealth leads to unending conflicts between people. Yet you alone transcend the value of gold. Baleful thunder and wrathful waves bring terror to mortal hearts. Yet again and again, you've braved them to find new worlds. O weary yet free soul, even the most verdant leaf in the forest will pray for your happiness and safe passage.
Excuse me? What was all that supposed to mean?
Those are all the things that I could see in you. You've experienced far more than even most mortals could dream of. You possess the heart of a sincere hero, along with the conviction to lift a torch above your head and walk headlong into the night.
Why do you say it like it's a bad thing? A lot of the ways you speak makes everything sound like it's bad.
Huh? Don't move. There's something here.
Huh? What thing? Don't scare Paimon.
She said don't move!
Is he okay?
Why are you moving?
Shoo! That should do it. You've just returned from the Night Kingdom, so some fragments of souls were still stuck to your body.
Oh,
No need to worry. I've just cleared out the last of them.
fun. Cool. Whose souls?
Isn't that kind of like having part of a ghost come back with you?
It's nothing as serious as that. If left unattended, the most it could do is stir up some chaos in your mind, and generally worsen your mood.
Well, in that case, better to get rid of them.
Practical. Thank you.
It was nothing. Shilonen, let's follow your proposal. Once you've brought Auroron back, I'll take you to see the Lord of the Night.
The Lord of the Night? But don't we need to talk to the Wyab of the tribes?
Who's the Lord of the Night? Have they been referenced before and I've just forgotten?
Something this important is beyond their jurisdiction. Only the Lord of the Night can decide whether we can grant an ancient name to one who does not hail from our lands. The Lord of the Night is an ancient entity that rules over the entire Night Kingdom, constantly borrowing the power of the sacred flame to combat corrosion from the abyss.
Right, yes, you have been mentioned.
Oh, so you're basically saying it's even more powerful than the Wyab of the tribes. Well, that sort of makes sense, being the lord of the entire Night Kingdom and all.
Not exactly. It's not so much that one's more powerful than the other. But never mind. That's not important. It would take too much time to explain.
I have a problem with Sitlali's hair model. So, this is going to bore a lot of people, but I have a problem with hair not sitting against a person's body. Like, her hair goes out here, which is characteristic of most characters in this game. But, like, what is this? Why are the plaits not resting against her chest? The hair doesn't just stick out of its own. You know, it follows the laws of gravity. It should be bending around her chest. Now, in games where you can change your armor, I can understand why hair does this. A lot of RPGs don't have long hair because then you would have to deal with the hair around armors. But other RPGs just have hair. If they do the longer hairstyles, they just have it sticking out really awkwardly. And as much as it pisses me off, I can't get too angry about it because some people are just limited in the technology they have. You could make separate meshes with hairs and armor so that it rests naturally. With today's technology, you absolutely could. But again, not everyone has the money or the resources, so whatever. This is not a game where you have armor, where you can change what the character's models look like. This is her character model. I think it is sloppy work on MiHoYo's part that they could not get her hair to rest organically against her chest. I don't care so much about this. I don't see it, and most characters have that problem. But this is what annoys me. This game company has a lot of freaking money. They could spend the extra 2 hours it takes to remodel the hair so it goes down, or get a separate mesh that makes it follow gravity a little better. Why are we being so lazy? That's all this comes down to. It's just laziness. And it just frustrates me because it's so unrealistic and it just breaks my immersion because all I can think of is, what's wrong with your hair? Why is it sticking out like that? You look silly. End rant.
Just listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you. The Lord of the Night is currently in a deep slumber, and we can only communicate with its consciousness while in a trance. In other words, in a dream.
And it's not like the hair doesn't have... I don't know the word I'm looking for. It moves with her actions, like just that her shoulder moved. So it reacted to the movement of her shoulder. So why is it not reacting vertically the way her body falls?
But I will need to prepare a few more things if we are to hold a ceremony to achieve the state of the trance. I'll make a list. Can any of you get everything for me?
A ceremony is required? Okay, I mean, far be it for me to argue.
I can go.
Sure.
It'll probably be a long list, so better leave it to someone who knows all the local vendors.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Shalonen.
Sounds good. Then we'll go with St. Lolly to track down Auroron.
Phew, the Fatui are nothing to scoff at, so please, be careful during your investigation. If you need any help, just come find me.
Yep, we'll be sure to play it safe.
See you soon.
All right, now it's time for us to catch that brat and bring him back.
I just thought of something. Shilonen's necklace works correctly. Her necklace moves with her chest. It hugs her body, and then it just falls straight down because that's how gravity works. It's not coming back in around her chest or whatever. It's not sticking out from her chest. It just falls straight down, and it bobs and moves as she walks. Why can the hair not follow a similar mesh as Shilonen's pendant? Because you need them to act the exact same way. Why do you have two different versions of a similar thing? Now I'm getting more frustrated.
Oh, I'm sorry I made you wait earlier. It was actually because I decided to swing by Auroron's place to look for clues.
Okay, you thought he would leave something in his own home that could lead you there? I doubt that.
He has always lived alone, and I found a broken jar in his house. There was also something off about his phlogiston aphids, which I assume is because their keeper has been gone for quite some time. And interestingly enough, I saw some slash marks in the house that did not match any of our local weapons. My guess is they were left by Snezhnayan arms.
I disagree that it's possible to tell. A sword mark is a cut mark is a cut mark. You're generally not going to be able to tell what weapon made the cut mark. You could probably tell the width of the blade, but that's about it.
Oh, sounds like the Fatui broke into his house and took him hostage.
But why would they kidnap a kid who just spends his days living in the country and raising aphids? He's only in his 20s. What would they want with him?
I think the bigger question is, why is he raising aphids? Does he not have anything better to do with his time?
That's
How
not
does he
to
earn
say
money?
that I believe he's totally innocent, of course. Since he's the only one who was kidnapped out of everyone in Natlan, he must have done something to attract their attention.
Way to blame the victim, Sitlali. Assuming he is a victim.
In any case, we'll get to the bottom of this once we manage to get him back here. I'm truly sorry to put you two through all this trouble with me. but please help me get him back.
You can count on us!
All right, then let's start by heading to where Auroron was seen last.
Okay, but if he lives by himself and doesn't really engage with the tribe, who would even be seeing him? To whence the smoke drifts. Whence is such an underused word. Even I don't use whence. I think I'd confuse people if I started using it.
This is the spot. An eyewitness claimed to have seen Auroron speaking to some Fatui soldiers here. I don't know how much you're willing to believe me, but Auroron really is a good kid. I see no reason why he'd suddenly get involved with the Fatui. I'm convinced that what the witnesses saw was actually the Fatui coercing him. Or perhaps trying to extract information.
Or we could find out the truth rather than making suppositions where you don't actually know any facts.
However, I doubt anyone would believe me, given there are no signs of a fight.
Didn't Kanich say that she's a big name in that land? Feels kinda weird to see her so frustrated and helpless like this.
As per usual, Paimon, I do not want to be hearing your thoughts. Could you tell us a little more about him?
Auroron? Well, he was left at the side of the road as an infant, and the people of the tribe took him in. You could say that everyone had a hand in raising him. He learned a lot from us, and once he reached adulthood, he built himself a house out in the countryside. He spends most of his days growing vegetables and raising aphids, living off of what he harvests from the garden. He's always been such a good kid. He would even get his friends to deliver whole bags of fresh produce to my place.
It says friend singular, and does he have any? If that's all there is to him, then he really doesn't sound like a bad person.
Oh well, let's keep looking. He can answer all of our questions once we find him. He's been raising phlogiston aphids for a long time, and since they were disturbed, they secreted a special type of phlogiston. We can use that substance to track his movements.
Why is aphids continually capitalized? I don't understand.
Let's follow the phlogiston trail.
You wouldn't capitalize cat.
Huh? What trail? Paimon doesn't see anything.
Oh, right. I forgot your eyes don't naturally perceive such things. Here, give me your hand.
Okay. Doesn't help Paimon. Oh, Paimon put a hand out as well.
How about now?
What do you see?
What about you, Paimon? You got the ability as well, didn't you? Maybe she's just not magical enough. I can see the trail now. What about Paimon?
Whoa, Paimon can see it now too.
There we go.
That's right. I used a spell to temporarily transfer a portion of my senses to you. For a short while, you'll be able to see the phlogiston too.
Wouldn't it have been better to temporarily enhance my senses so I could see it rather than debilitating yourself?
Wow, you can even share your senses with us? First time Paimon's heard anything like that.
It requires a very rare spell that most people aren't adept at. But don't worry, it's a cinch for me. Between the two of you, it seems the Traveler's senses are a bit stronger than Paimon's.
Sitlali feels like a strange combination of Farazan and Fischl, and then a bit of logic and reason.
When I held your hand just now, I could sense that you've got a great affinity for phlogiston. You're extraordinarily gifted. Anyway, we'll need to use our vision now to track down Auroron. Good luck, you two.
Over here, this way! See, Lolly might say a lot of deep and confusing stuff, but this spell of hers is really something.
What was that? What does she mean by deep and confusing? As far as elderly shamans go, I'd say that I'm already pretty easy to talk to. Is there any other old hag who's as fluent in the language of the youth as me?
Honestly, that was something I was going to bring up earlier. Farazan is understandable because she kind of didn't spend 100 years of reality aging and, you know, going out in society and just getting older. Wasn't she like trapped in some sort of time space for 100 years? I don't really remember her story because it happened in a hangout that I haven't done. But time didn't really seem to pass for her for 100 years. So she's kind of not aged, technically speaking, whereas Sitlali is like over 200 years old, so she's gone through time. But her what's I'm looking for? Her jargon is quite young. She speaks as if she is the age she looks, which is a little jarring when you know her true age. But at least they've thought about it in the context of her character and made it a deliberate choice that she has worked on that to sound continually young and fluent in the language of the youth. So I'm glad that Mihoyo thought about it. And I actually appreciate that Sitlali has endeavored to do so. I do find it frustrating when older people become out of touch with language and technology as they age. So good on her.
But is my way of speaking still not trendy enough? I've already tried my best to match their speech patterns. But given the looks on their faces just now...
It's not your speech patterns so much as what you're saying.
Or perhaps I'm still not fashionable enough? But that can't be, right? Don't tell me they're still getting the impression that I'm super old-fashioned.
And I really still hate hearing people's thoughts. It's immersion breaking.
Huh?
Oh! You... I see. Because she's shared her senses with them, they somehow have a line to her thought process. That's concerning on your part, Sitlali. You might want to shut that off immediately. We can just follow your eyes and keep your thoughts to yourself, because that's just really awkward. I think I just heard a voice. Wait, but it wasn't with my ears. Was it all in my mind?
Was that Sitlali's voice?
Can I interact with Paimon's mind? Seems Paimon heard the same voice, but she also looks like she understood what's going on. Let me think. It must be a side effect of a spell she cast. Okay, so we don't hear each other's thoughts, only Sitlali's.
Now that I think about it, it's a good thing I found some helpers this time. Some things are best done with the help of friends.
So now we can hear her thoughts through telepathy? Wow, this is amazing. Something like this could only happen with Sitlali. Should you make her aware of this fact?
Oh? They appear to be feeling quite confident.
Please make her aware of this fact.
Looks like our work will go smoothly.
Oh, come on, please. It's the kind thing to do. Oh, please tell her. You bet. Just leave it to us. Oh, we can't send it back. Okay. You didn't tell her, Traveler. You're a horrible person. You should tell somebody.
Looks like there's a new camp over there.
In that sort of situation.
Let's go take a look.
Because you don't... Yeah.
That little brat, I swear. I just hope he hasn't gotten himself into any real trouble.
Inner thoughts are inner thoughts for a reason. You know, we don't always have thoughts that we can control, you know. Well, they call them intrusive thoughts. They exist. And they're absolutely not something that you would go tell somebody and make them aware. I mean, everyone has them, but you don't communicate them to other people because people think you're fucking weird. Or a psychopath or something. Or creepy. So I don't like that we can hear her thoughts because it's so invasive and inappropriate. And we're going to hear things that we wouldn't normally hear from her as a person. And the things she chooses to tell us, which is what makes up your personality. I'd hate it.
Yeah. Judging by Paimon's experience as a guide, it definitely looks like people set up camp here.
I'm sorry, Paimon, but you have got to get over it. You are not a guide because you do not know more about this place than I do.
Wait. The phlogiston here is a bit odd.
Define odd.
Let me see.
I like the way the skirt flared out. It was very lovely.
Paimon sees a small shape here. Could it be some sort of symbol?
Did Auroran leave a trail?
This is a distress signal for the Masters of the Night Wind. Only someone from our tribe would recognize it. So Auroran was indeed being threatened. We've got to find him. Fast. Leaving such a subtle mark implies that he was trying to be discreet.
This is inconspicuous.
In other words, he was probably under the Fatui's watch. If they notice us, we can just charge in and fight them to the death. But what if my darling grandson is also there? I can't have him caught in the crossfire.
Grandson? Do you mean Auroran? And I don't think you mean biologically because he was left by the side of the road. I think you just mean you've adopted him emotionally.
No. I've got to be careful. Otherwise he'd get hit as well. How annoying. No, I've got to stay calm and keep my composure.
I like what she said better than what the subtitles say, but why are there so many discrepancies in this particular Archon quest? It feels like the quality has gone down. We have plosives from the voice acting that are just everywhere. We have multiple instances in the same few minutes of dialogue where the voice acting does not match the text supplied. Why is this game getting worse as we progress? It should be getting better and more professional and more polished. Can someone just tell the woman? You both suck in equal measure.